Hypocrisy, the one word that describes this world, where no one practices what they preach. We all talk about how it's okay not to be okay, about being open about topics like mental health. How many of us actually open up about ourselves and our problems? My name's Delzine, and this is no preach talk you're going to see. It's an honest experience. It's a story, my story, starring Trichotillomania.
Delzin, welcome to the Story Truck Season 1.
Hi,
Hi.
so
How are
nice
you?
to
How
be
are you
here.
feeling?
I am excited and I feel slightly empowered right now. So, yeah.
Wow, that's great. In fact, Johan, Delzine, and I met at a summer camp called HPY, which stands for Holiday Program for the Youth. And over there, my first impression of Delzine was this girl is so talented. I yet remember she won Best Actor, Best Debater, and she's going to do something very special, funny, and energetic for us in the end. So stay tuned. Here we go.
Okay, so Delzin, tell me, when did all of this start?
So, at the age of 13, I had a skin condition called atopic dermatitis that had become really, really serious. So, I looked like a piece of raw meat because I had red, itchy, and dry skin all over my face, neck, hands, and legs. So, it was very difficult at that time. I had a lot of eating restrictions, and the sad part is, I used to give vent to my frustration by plucking the hair on my eyebrows and eyelashes. So, that is the condition that I've come to talk about today, trichotillomania, and how it's affected me. That's when it all started, seventh grade. Yes.
Delzine, I must say, seventh grade is that age when everyone is so judgmental, and plus all of us are adolescents. So, what was your
Yes.
initial reaction to this whole thing?
So initially, I did not know that this was a medical condition. So my first reaction was like a shock, like, what am I doing to myself? It started off with like a few hair, but now if you can see, there's like a remarkable change. You can only see a few strands of hair. You can almost count them. So at that time, I would look at old pictures of me and feel so bad about myself. I would resent myself, saying, what have I done to myself? I used to wear mittens. I used to play with smiley balls, fidget spinners while studying. Sometimes I would even sit on my hands like this so I don't pull my hair. And I didn't know who to tell. I didn't have the guts to tell everyone that I plucked my hair out because it felt so embarrassing as a person. I would try to hide my eyebrows with specs or anything in photographs, and I just feel so ashamed of myself. That was my initial reaction.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing it. You're very brave to come here and tell us everything. That's huge, trust me.
So, Delzin, my next question for you is, could you please tell us how people reacted, like seeing your situation?
So the first thing that a person notices when they meet you is your face, and they look at your eyes for eye contact. So I would always see the split second of shock in people's eyes, like, wait, where are her eyebrows? And that would make me feel a bit uncomfortable, but then I had to get used to it. And I have received such a variety of creatively disturbing responses. Can't tell you. So I was talking to a friend of mine in school, and somebody approached me. He pointed to her eyebrows and said, the Amazon forest before it was burned, and then pointed to my eyebrows and said, the Amazon forest after it was burned. A lot of people used to ask, what happened? Did you cut them, shave them, burn them? Can I draw them on for you? How will you dress up for like events when you can't put eye makeup? Relatives started becoming very, very nosy, like, Dikra, Sumithayu, what have you done to yourself? Even the parlor lady was more interested in my life. Every time I'd go for a hair trim, like, madam, eyebrows. So I didn't know what to say. And even my family didn't know what was going on. They thought I was crazy because, to be honest, I have never heard or seen anyone do such a thing. So, and I would make terrible excuses like, this is the side effect of a medicine I'm taking for my allergies. And people would buy it, but this didn't last for long. A lot of disturbing responses, which made me very uncomfortable. But then the sad part was I got used to it. And yeah.
Delzine, tell me now, does this all yet affect you, or you've come to terms with it?
So the biggest mistake I made initially was I associated my self-esteem with my looks, which took a massive toll on my mental health. Now I've started to feel much better about myself, and this problem is actually a boon in disguise because it gives me that push and that motivation to work harder and prove myself, not to everybody else, but to me, that I am so much more worth than this face. I've tried to polish my skill set and I've taken part in a lot of events. I've grabbed every opportunity that's come my way. And I won't say I've completely solved the problem, but the hardest level, that is identification, I've come to terms with that. And now I'm not ashamed to be in photographs. I don't resent myself that much. And I'm happy for who I am.
My question to you is, were you aware that this is an actual psychological condition right from the start, or did you come to know along the way?
So I still remember I got to know in HPY, we were having a session with a psychologist and she mentioned this term trichotillomania and she explained it. So I was shocked. The person next to me, she was my friend, she nudged me like, Delzine, like, what if this is what you're facing? And I was amazed, like, wait, I am not crazy. This is actually a medical condition and I can actually seek help for this. So after a few months, I managed to tell my mom what exactly is happening to me. And she couldn't completely understand. Obviously, I don't think anyone can completely understand unless they've gone through something like this. But at least I could put myself out there like, okay, I'm not crazy. This is actually a problem and I can actually get help for this.
Yeah.
The problem was not knowing in the beginning. I thought something's terribly wrong with me. So yeah, I got to know along the way. And when I saw videos of people saying my worst nightmare is losing all my hair, so I'm partly living their worst nightmare.
Tell us, what did you do? Like, what did you do to finally accept yourself?
I basically put myself out there. I started doing a lot of things. I would play the keyboard to bust my stress. I would write a lot for competitions. There was this recent national level competition called Web Writers Lab by Filter Copy, a popular YouTube channel, and India Film Project.
Okay.
My script got into the top 20 scripts and they had no restriction on age or profession. So it was pretty exciting for me. I
That's
got to
great.
attend I got to attend a one-day online workshop with them where they gave me great tips, feedback. I got to talk to Netflix writers for shows like Little Things. I put myself out there. I did speech and drama, voice animation, and anything that came my way. I just grabbed the opportunity and I went for it, giving my 100%.
So, Delzine, what would be your message to the people who are seeing your video right now?
All I'd like to say is I'm not preaching anything or teaching you anything. I just want to reach out to all those people out there who might not know that they're actually going through something. And if you know someone who's going through a condition like this, reach out to them. Don't sympathize for them. Nobody wants sympathy. Don't feel bad for them and don't belittle them or mock them. It's the worst thing you can do. And if you're going through something like this, first things first, try to identify the problem. I'm not saying that you'll have the guts to come out and talk about it. It took me like 4 years to talk about this. So it's okay if you don't want to talk about it at the beginning. Just tell a few trusted people and go easy on yourself. A lot of people say the topic of mental health is very overrated, but trust me, the fact that so many people are posting about it proves how serious an issue it is. So just gradually you learn to accept yourself for the way you are and don't take bullshit from anybody. There's no one to tell you who you are. Nobody can make you feel inferior without your consent. Yes.
Delzeen, to end this whole amazing interview that we had so much fun. Let's add a little bit of fun by you showing us a bit of animation, that voice acting that you just mentioned before. So tell us who you'll be enacting, what you'll be doing, and then go for it.
So here's Gunter from Sing with a slight German accent, which I'll try to do my best. And I hope you enjoy. Knock yourselves out. Okay, get ready. This podcast is exploding with a major self-help power. Looks and self-esteem together? Are you joking me? They're going to be spicy? No. And if you bully anyone for how they look, you are a total super jerk, a dinkelsplat. Hope you liked it.
Liked it is too small, but loved it. Hey there, if you all have come till this point in this episode, I'm really sure that you all liked it. Please comment what you all felt about it and try and promote this or keep this on your story and help us in any way possible, because this is the main objective of the story truck. Actually, I always wanted to start a podcast of my own, and I'm so happy because I'm getting so much support from all of y'all. This may or may not be the last episode, so just try and create a wave that tells people that there is a safe platform where y'all can come share your stuff. If there's any case similar to this or any small thing, we'll cover it. They can always DM me on Instagram or write to me on the storytruck@gmail.com. You can share your story and people can benefit from it. Thank you so much for all your love and support. This has made my 2020 a little better than it was.